I know it doesn't look like it, but we are about to get what could be one of the biggest snowstorms to hit the mountains of western North Carolina in probably over 20 years. The forecast is saying at least 12 inches, but up to 24 inches where we live. So this could be the biggest snowstorm for an entire generation. They're saying this is going to be a generational storm. It will definitely be the most snow that Rowan has ever seen, and she's 11 years old. So we have a lot to do on the homestead today. We've been doing it all week to prepare. Most people have to do a lot of things when a big storm comes. Homesteaders have to do extra work, but hey, we signed up for it, so this is what you got to do. Mainly, we got to make sure that our animals are safe and secure, but also living in the country, you have some challenges that you don't have in the city. So I'm going to show you what we're doing to be prepared for this potentially biggest storm in 20 years in western North Carolina. I know it doesn't look like it, but we are about to get what could be one of the biggest snowstorms to hit the mountains of western North Carolina in probably over 20 years. The forecast is saying at least 12 inches, but up to 24 inches where we live. So this could be the biggest snowstorm for an entire generation. They're saying this is going to be a generational storm. It will definitely be the most snow that Rowan has ever seen, and she's 11 years old. So we have a lot to do on the homestead today. We've been doing it all week to prepare. Most people have to do a lot of things when a big storm comes. Homesteaders have to do extra work, but hey, we signed up for it, so this is what you got to do. Mainly, we got to make sure that our animals are safe and secure, but also living in the country, you have some challenges that you don't have in the city. So I'm going to show you what we're doing to be prepared for this potentially biggest storm in 20 years in western North Carolina. This morning, while the girls were doing some horse stuff, I went and got plenty of gas, mainly for my chainsaw. I'm not going to need 4 gallons of gas, but I went ahead and filled up all of my my empty jugs. I also got some propane for our grill on the deck, so that if our power does go out, we have the grill to use. And I put the deck under, well, I took it from our deck and put it underneath our covered porch, so that if we really do get 2 feet of snow, we'll have an easy place to cook. We bought a bunch of hamburgers, so excited about that. Have hamburgers in 2 feet of snow maybe. We have plenty of food, and as homesteaders, we already have a lot of emergency equipment and tools. We always have probably 4 flashlights right by our door. If you're a homesteader, you probably have flashlights by your front door. It's probably one of our most used tools on the homestead, is just a flashlight to check on stuff at night, especially in the wintertime when it's dark right now by 5 o'clock. There's a few more things I'm going to show you that are important. It's about 5 o'clock. There's no snow yet. Maybe this is going to be a bust. Maybe we're not going to get a foot of snow, 2 feet of snow. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I am overreacting. When a big storm is coming, we're worried about the same thing as everybody else. Food, water, shelter, heat. Secondary would be electricity, and God forbid you don't want to lose internet, right? But what's different than just most people is we have a lot of animals we take care of, part of our homestead family here. So we're also worrying about food, water, shelter, heat for those animals as well. So Amy and Rowan went and got 2 big round bales in the truck recently. We still need to load these in the barn. I got straw in the Prius. We're adding straw to the goat hut. Deep bedding for the chickens. The quails are gonna get a little straw. Stella, the pig's gonna get a straw. Right now we got the goats in our front pasture. We're kind of giving them what may be their last real exercise and pasture feeding for the next couple days. I don't know if you can see the goats right now, probably not. But those are our 3 fainting goats. We got Romeo, Olga, and Nero over there. And here is Stella, the not so mini pig. Yes, that is 3 bales of straw in a Prius. If you've ever wondered how many bales of straw can you get in a Prius, the answer is 3. I don't normally put straw in this little car, but like I just showed you, our big truck has 2 big round bales on it, and we still need to unload that, and I just wanted to make sure I got to the store before they shut down. Basically right now we just want to make sure that the animals have plenty to eat, and we don't know how long we may be snowed in or how long the people we rely on might be snowed in. So where Amy gets her hay, she gets her hay from several places, but most of them are 20 to 40 minutes away sometimes. So we, again, don't know what the conditions are going to be somewhere else. So we just want to make sure that we can keep our animals safe and healthy, and to have plenty of food, because they're going to be using this food to keep themselves warm and to produce heat. So that's really important. This straw is going to be used for bedding for the goats, for our mini pig Stella, and for our chickens. So I'm going to unload this, and they'll have some nice warm bedding. So when the storm comes, they'll have a little bit of extra insulation to trap some of their body heat. Firewood, of course, is a necessity when the snowstorm's coming if you got a wood stove. I have not been awesome at splitting wood this year. I have lots of down trees that have seasoned, but I just haven't got to splitting a lot. But I have enough to get us through this storm, which is important. Let me get over that bump. So I'm gonna have a lot of this inside the house by our wood stove, and then right outside our front door, so that we don't have to go into the snow to get wood. I'm also going to cut a whole load of kindling so that I have lots of small wood to get my fire going. I did a quick little inspection on my beehive, not really even an inspection. I took my top cover off, and I could see the bees. There's a hole in the inner cover, and they were coming out of the inner cover to eat sugar. So that tells me that the bees are doing good. I put a pollen patty in there. I'm not really going to do anything else for the bees during the storm. There really isn't much for me to do. They should be fine even if we get a lot of snow. That snow is actually going to insulate the hive and keep them warmer. I might be a little worried about some sort of ice, and maybe it could slide off my bee bench, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But the bees are nice and happy right now, so I'm not gonna worry about them. This is our first winter with our tractor, but we're gonna have the bucket on her so that if we need to move some snow, we may be able to use our tractor. Again, we haven't used it in the winter before, so we're gonna see how we're able to use her if we need her. And if I have the chance, if we get enough snow, I'm gonna try to use the tractor to make a Quincy shelter for Rowan. If you don't know what a Quincy shelter is, well, hopefully I'll have a video about it. I also went and got 5 gallons of diesel fuel for the tractor. You don't want your equipment to run out of gas if you can't get gas. So we got the tractor already, and we'll see if she's gonna be useful. I'm inside the barn, and I know the lighting's horrible and it's almost dark. We got plenty of food for the animals. We've stocked up this week at Tractor Supply and other places. So we have food that will last us weeks actually for most of our animals. We also have automatic waterers for the horses, and the system is set up that it keeps the water above freezing so it doesn't freeze. So that's pretty awesome. We don't have to water the horses unless the electricity goes out. So what we did is that we took one of our troughs and we filled it up. It's a pretty big trough, so it would take a lot to freeze it. And the temperatures for the most part, at least the next couple of days, are gonna be at times above freezing, but we're still supposed to get a lot of snow. So we should be covered on water for the animals. And if that trough freezes, we have one more special trick up our sleeve to get water for the animals and even for us if we need it. Worst case scenario, if we run out of water and our power goes out, we have a natural spring on our little farmstead here. It starts and basically ends on our property and then joins a bigger creek at the end of our property. So worst case scenario, we can fill up buckets here for the animals. This creek is not gonna stop flowing even in the snow. So I am not worried about running out of water. For us, if we need to use this water, we can. We can boil it. You can put bleach, about 3 drops of bleach per gallon. I've done that for years on camping trips. Learned that in the Boy Scouts. I even have some iodine, and I have a camping filter if I need to break it open. So we should be good on water. It is dark. This video, normally I film most videos in sequential order. Makes sense, right? As it's happening. This video, we've been doing so much all day. The girls actually made a separate video on maintaining the health of horse hooves in the wintertime when there's a lot of mud. And we've just been doing so much. The last thing I'm doing, at least for the video, I'm gonna make a fire after this and have some hot cocoa. But the last thing I did was I drove our car to the end of our driveway, which is like a private shared road, but basically a driveway to our house. And I'm walking on it right now. It's probably at least a third of a mile or so, I think. Gravel and dirt and a little bit of asphalt that's kind of broken down. So it's at the front of our drive at the main road, so that's one less thing we have to worry about, that we only have to get it out 100 yards as opposed to a third of a mile. So hopefully this video has been entertaining. This is what we've been doing on the homestead for the big storm. It's almost 6 o'clock, still no snow. Tune in tomorrow.